So this is a story summary for chapters 14 through 19, and chapter 14 starts out in Holden's hotel room that he rented, and he gets a knock, knock, knock at the door. When he goes to answer it, lo and behold, it's the elevator boy and the prostitute he hired last night. Yeah, so they go and they try to extort Holden for an extra $5 than what he really owed. And so the guy asks for money. Holden doesn't like that and gets pretty pissed off and insults him. The big guy didn't like that at all, so ends up punching him and hurts him really bad. And then the lady takes $5 from his wallet, and Holden's pretty bummed. And chapter 15 starts out with Holden in his hotel room the next morning. Yeah, pretty bummed about that last night. And he gets an idea in his head, maybe cheer him up, and he decides to call this old girl he used to talk to, Sally, and he decides to hit her up with a date where they would meet at the park and then go to a theater play later. And she likes that idea, so he plans that. He goes down to eat breakfast, and while he's eating breakfast at the bar he's sitting at, he meets these two nuns, and he just really likes them, I guess, because he gives them a lot of money for donations, and well, that's that. Chapter 16 starts out with Holden kind of wandering through the park waiting for his date. He goes to a theater play, doesn't really like that at all. Then he goes to buy a record for his sister, and he looks for her at the park, but he doesn't find her. And then he goes to the museum, and he's really pumped about that, but then he ends up not liking it. Chapter 17 starts out with Holden meeting Sally at the park, and they're both pretty happy about their date, and yeah, kiss and stuff. And then they go to the theater play, and the whole thing, Holden, he doesn't really like it that much. He thinks it's all like phony and all that. He doesn't like the acting. He never really seems to like acting throughout the whole book, whatever place he goes to. She likes it, he doesn't, and then they end up going to get drinks a little bit later. They get a little argument, which ends up with Holden just leaving Sally behind randomly. And so chapter 18 starts out with Holden bummed again. He goes to see a movie, maybe cheer him up, but surprise, surprise, he doesn't like that either. And then he decides to call up an old friend who's really smart, Luce, and they decide to get drinks together. Chapter 19, this is them in the bar, and they're getting their drinks, and they're talking about, just girls and school, and, well, sex a lot, too. They talk a lot about sex, and that was pretty much all that happened in the